We are back and we're rolling. We're back in studio.
Yep.
Our last episode was in the middle of an ice rink. Well, not the middle. It was on the outside of an ice rink.
It was. Yep. During our 2024 Alabama Modern Goaltending Camp, brought to you by Alabama Roofing Professionals.
Right. Yes. Second camp we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Went overall well.
I think it went very well. You know, the feedback was all very positive. I mean, we put a lot into these camps, right? We want to give all of our camp attendees a professional experience.
Yeah, 100%.
And obviously, we work within the restraints that we have. And I think in Pelham, Alabama, we're lucky that we get to use some professional hockey facilities in regards to the dressing room and an equipment manager and all that, right? So
yes.
It just adds
equipment manager is definitely unique compared to what I've been to when I was a kid.
I never had an EQ at a camp, so
no, that was crazy. Laundry, jerseys washed, laundry washed,
stalls. Leave your gear at the rink.
And I remember when I was a kid, like even when I was 14 and I got to get dressed in like the U16 locker room and I had a stall, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
It is, yeah. I remember my first time having my own stall was when I was 15, my first year midget. And I thought it was sick.
Yeah, it's like the coolest thing ever when you first get one.
Yeah, because as a kid, you grow up and you see all the cameras in the NHL dressing rooms and everyone's got their stall. And that's just something that you don't have, so you automatically recognize that as like a professional.
Yeah, you feel
thing.
cool.
Yeah,
and we want at our camps, we want all the goalies to feel professional. But I thought the goalies and parents did a great job just making it happen. So very, very grateful for them.
Yeah,
big thank you to all the goalies and parents. And
yeah, huge shout out to the parents. You know,
the
goalies, whatever. You know,
who cares about the goalies?
Yeah. Their parents drive them to the rink.
Yeah, the parents
get to the rink. We take care of them.
Right.
You know, the goalies.
The parents are really the ones that make it happen.
100%.
So
it's all about the parents.
Huge thank you to the parents.
Yeah. Huge thank you to our entire staff.
Yeah.
And obviously our sponsors as well. 100%. Central State Bank, Vita Era, Buffalo Wild Wings, SRS, Creekside Barbecue. Help me out here if I'm forgetting any. Compassionate Connection, Weight Room USA, Alpha, the Sims Agency, insurance company.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm missing any, I apologize, but thank you all. We couldn't run our camp the way we want to run it.
Perform Better part of it?
Perform Better.
Yeah,
there you go. One. Perform Better. Exercise equipment.
24E?
24E. They supplied our camp with shakes.
Awesome.
Every day.
Some kids had like 5 of them because they thought they were so good. I saw a video of a kid drinking 3 of them at one time like this.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because that was, I believe, coconut shake day. And the reason why that kid had 5 of them is because 4 of them didn't like the coconut. I love coconut.
Okay, so really I just skewed our numbers here and made it seem good when really it was a 1 out of 5 kids enjoyed the coconut.
Yes.
I probably would have been on the side of I don't enjoy the coconut.
Really? Not a coconut guy?
No.
I think coconut is like, what's the herb that it either like cilantro.
Yeah.
People, it like apparently it hits people's taste buds and it's like the best thing ever. I'm in that category.
Right.
Or it has, for the other side of things, it's like the worst taste to
cilantro.
The other person. Yeah.
I don't really notice it when I eat, but
really?
I probably do. I just don't know that I'm noticing it. But there's no way Gordon Ramsay's spicing everything up with cilantro and it doesn't do anything.
Does he put cilantro in a lot of stuff?
As far as I know, when I've watched his cooking videos.
I was gonna say because you and Cam are big Ramsay guys, right? Or guy and girl.
Yeah, I like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I think he runs a tight ship.
From what
frankly,
I've barely watched his shows. I just like see his Twitter stuff where he just roasts people.
Yeah,
I think it's so sick.
Yeah, tight ship.
Yeah,
a lot of accountability.
Right.
So yeah, great. And then you know, this is where like I'm saying, you listing off all the sponsors makes you sound more and more like a NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
Because you sound like a driver listing off all the sponsors for their car.
100%.
Which, speaking of NASCAR, huge weekend because Kyle Larson won at the Brickyard.
Yep.
And that's all I'm going to say on that. But he got to kiss some bricks. He may have beaten out the number 12 car, which is Lotzi's guy. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
He lost his mind. You sent me that Instagram message this morning with like the image of the quote of whatever he said.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, can you paraphrase the quote? But he was choked.
He said they gave the win to the Golden Boy.
Right.
Because another forward pitted at the last second. It's a long story. You'd have to watch it. But basically, he said that they handed the win over to my guy. But my guy had fresh tires and gas, neither of which your guy had.
No, you're right. I can't argue with that. Like I said to you this morning, for one, Blaney's a hothead. And my wife actually pointed out how your favorite driver is more like you and my favorite driver is more like me last night at dinner.
We talked about how when you get mad, you get, like, angry. I'm going to, in a word.
My wires crossed and there's no going back.
You get, like, really upset, like, mad.
Yeah. I've been better, but yeah.
When I get upset, I'm like, I suck.
Yeah.
I get, like, depressed. There's, like, angry and then there's depressed.
Right.
He gets angry. In a word, I get depressed.
And these characteristics are definitely noticeable, I think, if you were to be a follower of our careers in hockey. I'm saying,
yeah, right.
You know, like people probably didn't know that about you, but they definitely know that about me.
Well, that's because when I do experience the emotion of anger, I usually wait till I'm in the hallway to do anything about it. Mm-hmm. You're a big, I'm on the ice, I'm doing it right now kind of guy.
Yeah, from the on the ice, in the hallway, to the dressing room.
What I'll say is this. If you're wondering why, if you've seen our logo, if you're wondering why our logo is a goalie stick broken into 3 pieces, just watch, like, Austin's highlights when he gets scored on more than 3 times in a game.
Okay, yes, but... yes, which happens a lot. But likewise... to you, just in the hallway.
I'm not absolving myself of any sins either.
I think in the last 2 years, you've broken more sticks after or during a game than I have.
Maybe in the last 2 combined, but I had an advantage this year.
You played. I never played.
If you were a coach and you grabbed a stick off the rack and smashed it, I wouldn't be surprised. That sounds like you.
You would love that, I bet.
Yeah, I would. I'd be fired
If you looked over, if I was standing behind the bench this year, and you look over at the bench and you see me just tomahawking the top of the bench, the end of the bench.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
be fired up.
Fired up. I know you would be.
When it gets to the point where if our coaches are calming you down, then I'd be like, okay, he's really upset.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Which, for the record, Craig Simchuk did do in one of the 3 games I played this year. Or 4, whatever it was.
Right.
When I was on the ice on the way off, just like slashing the ice. We talked to a parent about this at camp.
We did.
Because Robert Turley was on the glass that I was trying to break.
Right. He is like, I watched you try to break your stick on the ice 4 times during a Pensacola game. And you're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. I'm like, I smashed it actually right on the glass near you. He's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah. But it didn't break. And then you got to the hallway and that was it.
Yeah. Well, but okay. So, and you'll agree with this. If you try and break a stick, you've probably never experienced this because you're 225 pounds. But if you try and break a stick, especially in front of like 5,000 people, and it doesn't break, it makes things dramatically worse.
Okay, but see, this is where you have to give yourself an advantage when you're breaking a stick. You can't slam it on the ice and try to break it over a flat surface. It needs a post or the corner of a bench, or it needs something that is thin so when you hit it, it can break over it. Oh. Rather than flat, it just like absorbs energy.
Like a wall?
Yeah, like a wall.
Not like a wall.
I do not do a wall.
I did a wall.
I've tried the wall.
Well, I did a wall in Pensy after I tried to break it twice.
You got to
on the
think
ice.
At that point you've already slammed it like 6 times.
Yeah.
It's got to be wearing a little bit thin.
It was a wounded warrior by the time it hit the wall.
Yeah,
but you're right. You're 100% right. But as you said, the version of me when I'm pissed doesn't think logically.
No, you're just like, I'm hitting whatever is in or out of my way.
Yeah, I do have the awareness.
You do take a look. You do take a look. I'll give you that credit.
Because one time I didn't. I look around, make sure I don't hit anybody. And in that moment, I looked around and there wasn't anybody near me, probably because they knew it was coming.
Right.
So there was nothing in front of me. Like usually you have a bench or a net or a wall or a pole. I just had ice.
Except for a wide open sheet of ice.
Right. So that's what got hit. I mean, if anything.
And then the glass.
Right.
But you've broken a pane of glass in Pensy, breaking your stick over it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not gonna say that it's not a
a
bad play by you.
That corner of the ice in Pensacola, Florida, I should just never go.
That should be called the Lots Corner. At this point,
Whenever we're coming to town, ticket prices in that corner go through the roof.
Yeah, they have to put extra seating there.
They're like, we're going to a hockey game.
Something's going on there.
And we're going to see some guy lose his mind.
Something's going on in that corner 100%.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't know what else to say.
And we are not condoning stick breaking whatsoever.
This started with NASCAR, by the way.
Yes, but then it was the comparison.
And sorry, keep going with your point. Because
we are not condoning stick breaking. It is not the proper way to handle a negative situation.
Right. I'm working on that. Chuck and I are working on that.
Everybody has something they can work on.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm necessarily all jolly green giant after we lose either.
No, you're too hard on yourself. It's you're the type of guy, and I respect this, that, like you said, you get mad at yourself and you're like, oh, I suck.
Yeah.
I hope that's not actually what's going through your mind, but I'm sure it is.
Definitely.
You're the type of guy and goalie partner that it can be very difficult to try and help after a game. At least I thought that until about 2 years ago. And then I realized that for you, it's more so like pad tap, just I don't even have to say anything. I just be in your corner.
Yeah.
And followed by about 15, 20-minute break. Guys are starting to kind of get in the showers, getting out of there. You're still probably in your gear looking at the floor or whatever you're doing.
Sounds right.
But then I just start downloading clips from the game, and we just review the goals. And I think that seems to be something that helps.
We look at the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely helps clear it.
Yeah.
Personally, something I can be better at is just when that's over, it's over. Just learn from it. Next game.
But I think that's
not, be super negative on myself for 30 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, it could. I don't know. Is it really a bad thing for 30 minutes to just be sitting there like, damn, like
maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not.
And then
it's tough.
As long as that 30 minutes is 30 minutes and not like 2 days,
right,
or a day, or 5 hours.
Then you're saying you're okay,
right? But I think the fact that we watch that video more often than not at home in the dressing room, or if we're on the road on the bus together, I think that seems like it helps you, because then you can kind of look at the goals and understand why they happened.
Yeah, but then you can move on. Which is the most important thing.
Right.
We're not condoning either way of handling negative situations, being depressed or being angry.
Yeah.
But and we can work on it, but everybody's a human being, and even the best athletes in the world at what they do, like Ryan Blaney, like Carey Price, like Kyle Larson, they struggle with these things too, and they handle negative situations differently and probably not as well as they should.
Yeah.
But that's part of being an athlete. That's part of being a human being, and being good at handling those situations is something that sets you apart in the long run.
Like, let's talk about this just for a little bit longer. You mentioned to me yesterday that Kyle Larson,
yes,
he's been like vocal on his what do they call him, on the radio, saying like, I suck.
Yes, he has. There's clips of it.
We're talking about, arguably, I think in both of our opinions, the best man currently on the planet at driving.
Yeah, probably.
End of sentence.
Yeah. Right.
Who doesn't necessarily handle things all the time perfectly.
Yeah, and that's kind of our point. So if you find yourself after a game and you're struggling and you're like, I suck, or you're mad, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Move on from it. And, after you're probably going to be like, man, that was stupid the way that I was thinking in that moment. But you have to think, goaltenders, pitchers, quarterbacks, race car drivers, the best people in the world at what they do, also do the same things. It's part of being a human. So it's just about being able to acknowledge it, learn from it, and just move on. That's it. Kyle's also very good at moving on.
I was going to say, I think it's obviously I don't want to be misunderstood. It's very important how you handle things, but I think it's not as important how you handle it right off the hop, say after a race or a game, as it is important how you deal with it after, say, 30 minutes or an hour.
You're saying when the emotions are hot.
Yeah, because because emotions are hot. Yeah. Like you just left the war zone. Like every time you're not going to be thinking the way you normally would.
Right, and you might have pent-up emotion from during the game, or you've been frustrated, but during a game, you're not allowed to feel that right now.
Right.
Because you have a job to do, so all of a sudden it all
comes out.
Yeah, at the end.
Yep, guilty.
Guilty as charged.
A lot of athletes are.
Yeah, 100%. It's just part of it.
I bet you every single goalie that's on my computer right now has those moments. You want to tell the listeners what we're looking at?
All right.
This episode is brought to you by Vita Era Hydration. Vita Era addresses 2 critical issues for a healthy lifestyle. First, throughout your day, you lose essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. Whether you're taking a walk, working out, or engaging in any energy-intensive activity, Vita Era replenishes these nutrients without the processed sugars and artificial additives like sucralose or aspartame found in many hydration products. Instead, Vita Era uses stevia, one of the healthiest natural sweeteners, to provide a refreshing taste. Second, with 60 to 70% of our bodies made up of water and 75% of people chronically dehydrated, it's showing that we're not drinking enough water. As an additive to water, Vita Era encourages you to increase your water intake. Vita Era is a 3-in-1 solution. It provides your everyday essential vitamins and minerals, green tea for enhanced performance and recovery, and electrolytes to maximize hydration efficiency. Each serving includes 500 milligrams of potassium, equivalent to the potassium content of a banana. Stay hydrated. Drink Vita Era.
So, that was a good little starter, but our main topic for today is that we had the Winnipeg Jets posted top 5 active NHL goalie lists from 3 NHL goaltending legends.
Mm-hmm.
You have, and it's the top 5. So you have Martin Brodeur's top 5 active goaltenders in the NHL right now. You have Henrik Lundqvist top 5 goaltenders in the NHL right now, and you have Mike Vernon's top 5 active goaltenders in the NHL right now. And what's interesting about these lists, the reason that the Winnipeg Jets posted it is because Connor Hellebuck, their goaltender, won the Vezina and the Jennings Trophy this year, and he did not make a single one of these goaltenders lists. And this brings us to our main point. We don't know what's going. We disagree with these lists big time. We don't know what's going through these guys' heads, and so we kind of want to talk about each of these lists, break down the goaltenders on them, and say what we think the top 5 goalies in the NHL are, or who we think the top 5 goalies in the NHL right now, and therefore who you should watch when you're trying to watch hockey, if there's games on, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read off this list, starting with Marty.
So the first list, this is Martin Brodeur's top 5 active goaltenders list.
In no particular order because it doesn't specify the order.
Yeah, we can't say there's an order because it doesn't say there is.
But, I mean, listener's discretion. Vasilevsky's the first person on every single one of these lists.
Which is fair.
Wait. Yeah, I was going to say they're in alphabetical order by first name, but they're not. Because otherwise,
that would have been a good idea.
Aiden Hill
that would have been a good catch by you.
Yeah. Okay. So Martin Brodeur's top 5 active goalies as of 3 weeks ago, according to the NHL Jets.
Yeah, but this had to be from somewhere else. Like, this had to come from somewhere.
It definitely did, but it doesn't say.
Okay, so we don't know the source of this, but it had to be like TSN or something.
It looks like it. To be honest, it looks like. Actually, I probably shouldn't even say that. That doesn't matter. It looks to me like a similar graphic that I've seen on NHL.
Okay, so it could come from NHL. Yeah. Either way, they interviewed these NHL legends and asked them what their top 5 goalies are, and these were the ones they came up with.
Marty Brodeur has Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin,
fair,
Ilya Sorokin,
sure.
All 3 fair, I think.
All 3 fair. Yeah. All 3 top 5 in the league, as far as we're concerned.
Aiden Hill.
Oh, my gosh.
And Jacob Markstrom. The fact that Aiden Hill and Jacob Markstrom, in my opinion, are in anybody's top 5 right now is ridiculous.
No disrespect to any of these guys on this list.
No.
But
when we tell that...
we like Jacob Markstrom. We've talked about how we like his game.
There's parts of Aiden Hill's game I like.
Right, there's parts of Aiden Hill's game we like.
So
we don't even know if he's top 20, though.
No, I don't think there's been enough proof of it.
Right.
Okay, he won a Stanley Cup. All right. I'm sure at this point people are like, "Oh wait, he won a Stanley Cup." We know. We
but Darcy Kemper won a Stanley Cup. He's not on any of these lists.
Right. There's a lot of goalies that, well, I guess current goalies maybe not, that aren't on this list. Oh, I know one.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe top 5 in the league. Maybe you think Bob might be better than Aiden Hill.
Maybe
you think
Stanley Cup winner, potentially best goalie in the NHL.
Potential Conn Smythe. You think Sergei Bobrovsky might be better than Adin Hill?
And Jacob Markstrom and Ilya Sorokin.
And Jacob Markstrom. And I think you can make the case for Sorokin too, even though I think Sorokin is out of this world.
So do I. I think it gets a little touchy with Bob when you start comparing him to Vasi and Igor. But in my opinion, anybody else, I can say without a doubt, in my opinion, he's in the top 3.
So where's Marty getting Adin Hill from over Sergei Bobrovsky? Because this was after they won the Cup. We like Jacob Markstrom. We like his game, but you're telling me he's better than Bob and who was our other one? We had Bob. We like Saros a lot.
Yeah, Saros.
And obviously, I don't know, the 2-time Vezina winner over the last 4 years, Connor Hellebuck.
Jennings winner.
I don't know. Jennings winner. We don't want to put him in there?
I guess not. Marty doesn't. Marty doesn't want to put him in there.
Marty doesn't think he's good.
Here's the thing, okay? Here's my – this is how I'm going to justify this from Marty. I think it's one of 2 things.
Whatever you say, I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, the first one is he doesn't watch enough hockey.
Okay.
Maybe. All right?
But why don't you just say I don't watch – I guess they asked him and he's not going to say I don't watch enough hockey.
Yeah, I mean, if someone asks me my top 5, I'm going to tell them my top 5, and I'll be honest, I don't watch enough hockey.
Okay.
You know? But I watch enough to know – I think I watch enough.
I watch enough to know Bob is better than Adin Hill.
Actually, let me take all that back. We watch highlights every morning. I watch enough hockey. I know who's good and what's not. Okay. My second potential reason for Marty having Adin Hill in his top 5, I think they play similar.
See, this is where we disagreed a little bit, I think.
Okay.
But what was your case? Tell me again your case for Adin Hill playing like Marty.
Brodeur. I think he's more athletic than you think.
Yeah, see, I don't think of him as an athletic goaltender. I think of him as very technical and stiff.
Yes.
Almost robotic.
For the most part. Okay. To be honest, when he's playing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think when he's a little bit more disciplined, I'm not going to say he's robotic because I've seen him play a lot.
Okay.
He's big, he's definitely technical, but I've also seen him make some insane, unnecessary, and I know he'll agree with me, diving saves, pad stacks, all this stuff.
Yeah, but that's
Marty Brodeur-esque.
Is that due to his athleticism, or does he put himself out of position and has to make up for it with that sort of save?
Probably the latter, I think. And I think he would agree with that too, you know?
He would. We talked about that. But see, to me, Marty would make an easy save athletic, and Adin Hill's big and robotic. It would hit it, and it would just hit him. Mm-hmm. Now, Marty never really had that structure to his game that Adin Hill has.
That's true. I guess I'm just picking a piece of Marty's game that's similar.
Right, but I'm also, in your defense, I'm not saying that anybody can replicate what Marty did or Dominic Hasek.
That's true.
They're making guys coming down the middle, and they're just laying on their side in their pad stack waiting for him to shoot it. It's I don't have that. I don't have that in my toolbox.
Marty, yeah, he was still making stand-up pad saves.
Yeah, in the 2014 finals or whatever it was.
That's insane.
Yeah,
he was the last one to do that by had to be 10 years.
Well, I thought my theory was he played so long because nobody knew what he was going to do. A shooter would come down and do something, and Marty would do something they've never seen before, and they're what do I do? And they just shoot it into him.
He's the shooter's I'm going to bring it forehand, backhand, but then as he brings it to the forehand, Marty's already on the backhand.
Already pad stacked on his backhand. They're I don't know what to do. I'm still going backhand.
Yeah, that could play a part for sure.
So that's your case for Adin Hill on this list.
Yes, I don't think we've seen enough of Hillsy to really know how good he is, but I've seen enough.
You've seen enough of him. I don't know. I think you've watched enough.
I'm being nice,
I think you've watched enough. I don't know. No. Okay. Adin Hill's a good goaltender, no doubt.
Yeah.
We're not debating whether they're good goaltenders or not.
Right.
We're making the case right now that Adin Hill, if you started a franchise tomorrow, you would rather have Adin Hill in your net than Sergei Bobrovsky. That's the case that Marty Brodeur is making right now.
You're right.
That's the case that we're trying to stand up for right now.
Right.
Against
okay.
either one.
I'm glad you said that because that is insane.
You got to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
The case that is being made with these statements.
Right. It's insane when you put it like that, which is exactly what this is. It's insane to see Hillsy on this list.
Yeah.
And Jacob Markstrom, not as insane probably, because Marky's more of a proven goalie, and I mean, when he's hot, he's really good. When he's
we
not
like
hot,
his
he's
game
really
a lot.
bad.
He's a little bit athletic. He gets himself out of position when he's off. He just
Who we talking about?
He randomly stacks the pads. Marky,
yeah, and he just flies out at stuff when he's off. And in my opinion, Marky is one of the best goalies in the world, but he's also one of the worst goalies when he's off in regards to the NHL.
Now you have to because we're talking about guys who are we might put Marky top 8 in the NHL, which out of 64 goalies plus another that AHL guys that come in and play games out of 80 goalies is great.
Yeah, it's sick.
Like we're splitting hairs here. We're not saying these guys are bad goalies. We're saying you have to make a case that you'd rather have them in net than Bob. You'd rather have them in net than 2-time Vezina in the last couple of years. 5 years, Connor Hellebuck.
Juicy.
Like I get Connor Hellebuck didn't have his best playoff this year. But I still don't think, based on what we've seen, you can make the case that you'd rather have Adin Hill. Like, if Connor Hellebuck was in the Vegas net last year, are you telling me they would have lost?
I don't think so.
No, I think I'd rather have Adin Hill.
Was Adin Hill even in the net?
Yeah. Remember he made that backwards diving stick save
last year, or was that when won the
Vegas
cup?
Won the cup?
Right. Okay, but last year was he in the net
for playoffs?
Yeah, I think he played one game.
Yeah, he might have. But anyways. Marty's making the case that you'd rather have Bob in your net than Adin Hill and Jacob Markstrom. I don't buy it.
Neither do I.
I'd rather have, because Bob is he has technical ability, but he's also so athletic. He's got a good mix. And when he's on, he's unbeatable, which we saw in the playoffs. When he's off, he's okay, like everybody else. Connor Hellebuck, Vezina winner, Jennings Trophy, won the Vezina 2 years ago. There's a short list of goalies who have won 2 Vezinas.
Yes.
Think about who isn't on that list. Andrei Vasilevsky, who everyone agrees is the best. Igor Shesterkin. Carey Price. Tuukka Rask. Henrik Lundqvist. Braden Holtby in his prime.
Yep. There's a lot.
Think about all those goalies who are not.
Luongo?
Bobby Lou, does he have a Vezina?
I don't know.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Ryan Miller.
He's got one.
We
saw that.
Pecorine. Is he any good?
Yeah, he had one.
Marc-Andre Fleury. So
has he had one? Flower?
Yeah, he got one with Vegas, and then remember they traded him.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing? But they did win a cup after. So, I mean, what are we saying?
But are you telling but would they have lost the cup if Flower was in net or on the team? He's got 3 cups before that. I think even if he's not in the net, I think he helps that locker room.
100%. Agreed. Because just quick comment on Flower. Speaking of goalies who are bad when they're off, him. But he's also, and maybe there's something to this, maybe it's a common theme that can't be overlooked.
Yeah.
When he's on, tough to find anyone better.
Yeah.
I think that's athleticism.
Yeah, I think you could I'd put Marc-Andre Fleury in over Adin Hill, by the way, if we're going to bring up Flower.
And Jake Ottinger.
And Jake Ottinger.
Probably Thatcher Demko.
You know who else is still active that I would still have in my net? Probably over Adin Hill.
Who?
You could guess it.
I have no idea.
Carey Price.
Oh, Carey
Price. I don't even think he's retired yet.
We haven't even talked
about where's Carey? Let's put Carey in the list.
He's not retired, but I'm assuming that he would be if he was active playing.
He's active.
This says active.
He's technically active.
Okay, he's active. It should say active playing.
You could give me Carey Price after 2 years of not playing, and I'd probably still put him in there.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? He would instantly be inserted in between Wassy and Igor. I think he'd be better than Igor.
He would somehow come back after 2 years and still be phenomenal.
He might be better than Wassy.
He's got. I don't know how he does it. He is one of those guys who's from another planet.
He is 100%.
Jesus Price is his nickname.
The only other 2 guys that I think are necessarily from another planet in the NHL right now are Igor and Wassy.
I think Sorokin with his athleticism is from another planet.
It's close for me. Okay. I'm not 100%. We're talking about
his
sick
hips
category.
His hips.
Yeah, they're stupid.
They're stupid.
I had another comment to make before we switch this one. I can't remember what it was. Oh, the fact that we could switch it. We don't have to keep it on here. The fact that we didn't even mention this entire time about Jeremy Swayman, Linus Ullmark.
Swayman good. Ullmark. I like Corpy.
We barely mentioned Ottinger.
Ottinger.
Yeah, you like Corpy. You're on an island by yourself on that one. I like him too. I
know.
shouldn't have said that. But he's just nowhere near
He's
these
super
guys
athletic,
to me.
and he's just always active.
But you've seen a lot more Corpy than I have.
I've watched a lot of Corpy.
Yeah.
In my day.
Usually when I watch Corpy, it's like the highlights of the Ottawa Senators, and they're down by 5.
And he's given up another 2-on-0.
He's got his ball cap on the bench already. He's sweating, but he's
given
got
up.
his hat on.
He's given up 2 double backdoor goals, and now he's pulled.
100%. And he's just on the bench. Like,
Yeah. What are we doing?
Okay. Next list.
Henrik Lundqvist, top 5 active goalies.
You want me to list them off?
Sure.
Okay. So once again, starting with the same 2 as Marty, we got Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin. Then we go off the rails a little bit here, but arguably better now that I think about it. We got Thatcher Demko, Linus,
Okay.
Ullmark,
Okay.
and again, for a reason I just can't wrap my head around, Jacob Markstrom.
We like Jacob Markstrom.
I love Jacob Markstrom.
For Hank, it could be because Marky's a big Swede.
Oh, give me a break.
Isn't
if you're making
isn't
a top
Ullmark a
5
Swede too?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. You got a couple. Yeah, which both great goalies. And Swedish goalies are phenomenal.
That just made me think of something. Do you think Aiden Hill's on Marty Brodeur's list because he's Canadian?
Oh my gosh. You could be right. You could be telling me right now that Marty made this list. He was like, oh, wait, I don't have any Canadians. What about Hockey Canada? And so he throws Aiden Hill in there.
Yeah, but then why
That's
wouldn't
who
you?
you're going to put in?
Right. Why wouldn't you put Flower
Yeah.
or Stuart
Flower.
Skinner? But maybe at this time in the list. Oh, no, this was after playoffs. So, yeah, I don't know. I think. The Jets posted it after playoffs.
We're talking just skill level, right?
Top 5 active goalies.
Okay. So let's go to the next.
Okay. So, anyways, yeah. Lundqvist has Vasi, Shesterkin, Demko, Ullmark, and Markstrom. What do you got?
I think you're gonna have to make a case for me that you'd rather have Demko, Ullmark, and Markstrom in your net than Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what case that is.
You're not going to find one, I don't think.
So that's one thing.
Ullmark did win a Vezina trophy a year and a half
Ullmark
ago.
won a Vezina.
Or a year ago.
Bob has 2. Not with Florida, though.
Mm-hmm.
Both with John Tortorella,
Yep.
who's a Jack Adams winner. But again, I think I got to put Bob in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I got to put Sorokin in here somewhere, honestly.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think he's got to be up there above Demko, Markstrom.
Who, Bob?
No. So Bob could be number 1.
You're talking about Sorokin.
I'm talking about Sorokin.
Sorokin is number 3.
Okay, Sorokin's
He's
number
gotta
3.
be.
So then who slides out?
First?
Yeah.
Probably Markstrom.
Okay, so Markstrom out first. We have Ullmark, Demko, Sorokin, Igor, and Vasi. But what about Bob? I think that's a
Slides in
famous
and
movie.
Ullmark goes out.
Okay, so
Demko goes out for me.
Demko. So you have Bob in there, Sorokin, and then you have Ullmark.
Yeah, but then Ullmark's coming out too.
Demko for who?
Hellebuck.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Yes. Right. So, okay. So, again, we're going to say our whole list at the end, but you probably already know it.
Yeah.
And then we could even say like our 6 and 7. But I get why everybody loves Vasilevsky's game. He's well known as like the best goalie in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Super athletic, makes mistakes like everybody else. He sits down too much.
Yep.
Which happens. Gives up a little bit too much of that. Igor's obviously very good. But why do you think he likes Thatcher? Thatcher's very technically sound. Demko's very technically sound.
Would you categorize Henrik Lundqvist as technically sound?
No.
What would you categorize him as?
I think he has good fundamentals.
Yeah.
But he's insane at reading the play.
Yeah.
He also is good at setting himself up to read the play.
He just, to me, when I think of him,
With his positioning.
Yeah, he would make athletic saves, but he would never be like out of position. Ever.
No, it's hard to be out of position when you're on the goal line all the time. You look like you have a
100%.
chance.
100%.
And he actually said, according to you,
yes,
that when he was challenging really far out, that means that he was off because he didn't trust his ability to read the puck.
My head coach in juniors actually printed off an article for me when I was struggling. And I mean, in juniors, I was a wild goalie. I was chasing the game like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Just getting away with athleticism alone.
Which isn't bad.
Right. But then when I was off, it got even worse. So he printed off an article that I don't remember who wrote it, but it was regarding Henrik Lundqvist. And he said word for word that when he was off his game, he was like way out of his crease. He was challenging way too much. And he knows when he's on, when he plays deeper in his crease.
Because you don't trust your ability to read the puck.
Right.
You want it to just hit you rather than you read and react and make the save.
Exactly.
That's what I think is going on. So Demko, very technical, very good. I think he's good positionally, but I don't think he makes this. He's very athletic too, but I don't think he has the same athletic prowess as Bob and Sorokin.
He doesn't.
I don't think he makes those kind of saves.
No, I think he is athletic, but he doesn't have the mobility that say Bob does.
Yeah,
just kind of like Hellebuck, where he just doesn't have.
Hellebuck
mobility.
would tell you that he's one of the stiffest goalies in the league.
Right, and I don't think Thatcher's that stiff, but
No.
I think he's more so on that side than
Yeah.
Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's like gum. He's made of gum.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And Sorokin too.
Yes.
Speaking of guys who don't get out of position, Connor Hellebuck.
Right, except for the one clip that is in your PowerPoint.
The one clip that I showed in my PowerPoint, which isn't good.
Yeah.
We love Hellebuck just the same. He's one of our favorites.
His controller died for like 10 feet.
Right. Yeah, for like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me you'd rather have Demko, Ullmark, and Markstrom over Hellebuck and Bob?
I don't get it. It's almost such a bad list that I don't even know what to say. Maybe we don't know what we're talking about.
Henrik Lundqvist will never accidentally find our podcast anywhere, but if he does, our show is going on his blacklist.
100%. Or he's just going to be like, I'm going to rip these guys.
I hope he comes on and destroys me.
Yes.
Personally.
That'd be great.
Not even my hockey.
I hope he does too. Both of us, not just you. If
Just
Henrik Lundqvist ever went live on air ripping us, we would be the happiest anyone has ever seen us.
If Mr. Lundqvist wanted to come in here, the king, wanted to come in here, he would say, you guys don't get microphones.
Yeah.
I'm going to rip you for 2 hours straight, and that's going to be your episode. I'd say, yes, sir, Mr. Lundqvist. Where should I sit?
Absolutely. You want us to sit in the hallway? Yeah. He flies in.
No, he wants to sit right. He wants to stand right here, and we're sitting right here.
Yeah.
And he's just giving it to us.
He just stands over top of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Flies into the Shelby County Airport on his PJ.
Yeah.
Jumps in the Rolls Royce.
What's up, boys?
To this place. Gets out of the car. Someone opens the door for him. Walks in here. Shreds us for that probably doesn't need more than 5 minutes.
He doesn't, but you know what? He's going to draw it on for 2 hours anyways.
Yeah. Just to watch us melt.
Just because he could.
By the end of it, we're just a pile of skin on the ground.
So, we love Hank. We've said that in our earlier episodes, but we've had a couple times already where we disagree with Hank a pretty fair amount.
Just twice. That I can remember.
But we disagree with him on multiple things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've disagreed with him twice, and both of those situations have taken up large portions of our podcast.
Yeah.
But it's hard to believe like that he sees the game this way, but I guess it just unless there's a rhyme or reason. He's an analyst.
I feel like he has to watch hockey.
I will say there's a New York Ranger on here.
Yeah.
And there's 2 Swedes on here.
Right. But where does Thatcher fit into that?
Don't know.
Over Bob.
I cannot
over Bob, over Hellebuck.
I cannot justify why he's got Thatcher in there over the Bob, Hellebuck.
Thatcher's a very good goalie. So is Ullmark. So is Markstrom.
Swayman.
But I think those guys are better. Do we go on to the last list? Which
yes, we have to.
We have to, and I think we thought this was the worst one. This is Mike Vernon. Love Mike Vernon. One of these actually is a surprise because he's our number 6.
I don't know.
But this is you got to make some cases here. Okay, so this is Mike Vernon's top 5 active goalies. We have Andrei Vasilevsky, UC Saros, Thatcher Demko, Jake Ottinger, and Jacob Markstrom. You're going to have to take me to court on this one because you have a lot to prove.
Where is Igor Shesterkin?
He won the Vezina 2 seasons ago? 3 seasons ago? 2 seasons?
Is Mike Vernon the only hockey-related person in the world that wouldn't have Igor Shesterkin in their top 5?
Has to be.
What are we talking about, man? Where did you listed this off already, right?
Yes.
That was a moment where you were talking and I was just thinking about where's Igor. My bad.
You were you're like, oh, Igor's on there for sure, and then he's not.
He's just not.
No.
How can you not have Igor on there?
I don't know. I like UC Saros. He might be over Thatcher. He'd probably be over maybe over Ottinger for me, maybe over Markstrom. But again, you're going to make the case that UC Thatcher, Jake Ottinger, and Jacob Markstrom are you'd rather have them in the net than Bob.
No, I'm not.
Then Igor Shesterkin.
No.
Then Ilya Sorokin.
And
Connor Hellebuck, 2-time Vezina winner.
Yeah.
Why are these guys like UC? I get he's fast, he moves around. I don't think Mike Vernon was the biggest guy, so UC's a smaller guy, and he's great.
Mm-hmm.
He might be our number 6, maybe our number 7.
Yeah.
Again, Thatcher's technical, Ottinger's really technical. I think he could get more athletic, and then Markstrom's a great goalie too, but he's just probably not in top 5 right now.
Not top 5. He's top 10.
You're talking about right now.
10. These guys are top 10.
Yeah,
Thatcher might be 11 for me, somewhere in there.
That's fair. Rosie will be upset about that.
He'll be okay. Maybe for the record, I think actually I will go on the record and say that my number 6 goalie in the NHL is Juicy Saros. I think over the last couple of days
fair.
I've just decided that mentally.
That's fair.
He also can kind of I've seen him let in 6 goals in one period live.
Yeah, right.
One time.
It happens.
But
welcome to playing goalie.
They were playing the Dallas Stars, and it was like right before the Preds went on their run. They were
Right.
brutal. Like
Yeah, they were bad at that time.
the
Then
goal,
they were good.
Luke Shen looked like he was like playing beer league. It was bad. So I can't put it all on him. I think he's my number
Leafs
6.
fans probably have something to say about that. Number 6, okay.
Yeah. So Jacob Markstrom to me, Jake Ottinger, Thatcher Demko, Linus Ullmark
Aiden Hill. I'll say it for you.
are all in my top 10.
Aiden Hill's your top 10 NHL goalies?
No, you said Aiden Hill. I didn't say Aiden Hill.
Okay, I didn't say he was in my top 10. I said he's in Marty's list.
I need to see more reps, meaning games, from Hillsey before he cracks my top 15. No disrespect, Hillsey.
I think we've watched him. He's been in the league enough. We've watched him play. I think if I watched him do a skating drill and I watched Bob do a skating drill, I could tell you who's a better goalie.
There's nobody,
right?
There's nobody that's. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's very. He's the best skate. He's the best skater in the goalie.
You watch Vasi do a skating drill and Bob do a skating drill. It's a little tougher.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
I think you would know more than me. From what I've seen, Bob is a better skater than Vasi, but Vasi would probably be number 2, I think. What about Corpy?
Corpy's a great skater too.
Who's better at skating, Corpy or Vasi?
Probably Vasi. He's faster and longer.
Okay, you think he's faster?
He's really fast.
I kind of had it pictured in my mind that Corpy was a faster goalie.
Corpy's really fast too. I don't know.
It's tough.
But
I think Vasi's definitely more efficient.
The point that we're trying to say is that if you watch the two of the best do a skating drill or any drill, you'd be like, oh, it's hard to tell who's better. They're both probably really good.
Yeah.
If you put Aiden Hill in that category, you might be able to tell who's better.
For the record, there's a lot of goalies that you could put in that category and it wouldn't work. It's not just
right.
It's not rip Aiden Hill.
No, he's got a cup. He's doing awesome.
Right.
But this is top 5 active goalies in the league right now. This is what we're giving our opinion on.
Yeah, I think if Hillsey had a top 5, I don't think. Well,
he'd put himself in it.
Hillsey might.
You cannot. No, you cannot put your. No, there's no way.
That'd be a question for Hillsey.
Okay,
he might.
That'd
No, I don't think
question.
he would. I don't think he would.
Okay,
he'd put himself in the top 10 though.
Right.
I think I can go on the record saying that.
Okay.
He would probably do that. Which fine, whatever.
Fine.
You know what? I think
our debate right now is top 5,
and I think the top 5 should be almost not negotiable at this point.
I think it's easy. Again, I don't understand. Like Jake Ottinger, very technically sound, makes good saves, puck hits him.
He's nasty.
But I think he could be more athletic when he needs to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing with Thatch.
Mm-hmm.
Markstrom does crazy stuff out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Saros is small, but he's very athletic and has the technicality to back it up. I think you should be athletic, then technical.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Demko, Hill, Ottinger are technical then athletic.
Yeah, definitely. Juicy's athleticism is so good that sometimes it crazy. Screws him up.
Right. So yeah.
Watching him play live, man, was one of the sickest goalie experiences I've ever had.
Yes.
He covers, like, we talk about playing in the box, which is basically the crease.
Yeah.
His box is like probably add another 2/3 to the crease.
Wow.
And he moves just as efficiently as like a normal goalie.
It's crazy.
It is I want to know what he gets his skate sharpened at.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Probably maybe a half.
Just like one angle.
It's a one piece.
It's just one edge.
It's one piece skates. They're sharp. But I think when he's dialed in, he's a little bit more controlled around in there.
I would agree.
He doesn't get himself out of position. Like Winter Classic a couple years ago, I watched it when he was in it. He was just like mid crease, boom, puck would hit him.
Yeah,
sweet.
Do you want to give the people our
I think we should. I think we should give them our top 5, maybe a 6, maybe a 7, and then get out of here.
Okay, do it.
Okay, our top 5 goalies in no particular order, because it's when you're at the top 5, it's so hard to put them in an order. I think we've agreed on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin, Sergei Bobrovsky,
yes,
Ilya Sorokin, Connor Hellebuck,
yeah.
Carey Price, number 6.
The only
reason he's 6 is because he hasn't played in a couple years.
Right. The only place for me, my top 2 are solidified between 3 and 5.
Well, who's your top 2?
In your order. I had Wassy,
Igor,
and then Igor.
So Bob's not making your top 2.
No, he's actually sorry. My top 3. Those are my top 3 goalies.
Okay. It's hard to put them in order.
I'm putting those 3 for me in order.
I'm not gonna run that risk.
Okay, Helly and Sorokin. It's a soft 4 and a soft 5. I'm not sure on that one.
Okay, but either way, that's our top 5, and that's a solidified top 5, is what you're saying.
100%, no doubt about it.
I think that's fair.
Juicy's on the cusp, but he's not there. He's not in the 5.
And the reason that we like them and we think you should watch them is because they all play with a lot of athleticism, but they play with structure too, and they don't get all crazy. They make athletic saves. They stay athletic, meaning they're always ready to react. They're always ready to go places when they need to make saves.
Yep.
They're very focused individuals, but they also set themselves up to make saves by being in the right position and not chasing the game around.
Yeah, I think they're in a category by themselves.
Yeah. So when you're watching, elite. I think so too. So when you're watching goalies, that's what we like to watch.
Yeah.
And we're not saying copy them, but take tools. Take tools from their game.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck is a very different goalie from Igor Shesterkin or Bobrovsky.
But they both do the same thing, and he's got more Vezinas than Shesterkin. He's got the same number as Bob, but he has less cups.
Do you think in that top 5, the biggest distance from like comparable to each other would be Helly and Bob within that top 5?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Bob's kind of in the middle. Like I feel like Sorokin and Vasi are super duper athletic. Hellebuck's like very well positioned and reads plays well. Efficient.
Yeah.
And then Bob is in the middle of both.
Huh. I would have said Bob's the most athletic.
Which you could make a case.
Actually, Wassy's very athletic.
Yes. Which in that you can almost make a case that the combination of both makes him the best.
Yeah, that's true.
That's hard to. I'm not going to go there.
But you can say the same thing with Wassy.
Right.
And Igor. They're all just so good.
They're all so good.
Top 5. It's
that's
so
who
hard.
We like to watch.
It's almost impossible to like say who's better.
100%.
You know, because there's variables of their age, how long they've been playing,
right?
The teams that they're on, the systems that they're in. You know, like there's variables, but
but you can watch goalies, and even when they're on a bad team, you can tell they're a good goalie. They just get 2-on-0s a lot,
right? Like Jonas,
Jonas.
Poor Corpy, man. But Corpy's in Boston now,
right? So let's go. He's in a system.
I wonder how many games he'll play this year.
I think a lot.
Under is on that.
I think a lot. I think Swayman's going to play a lot, but I mean, people get hurt.
Yeah.
Boston's been good with the 2-goalie system. It's different playing 50-something games than it is playing 40 or 30.
I think Corpy's going to have a sick year.
I think so too.
I think it's going to look very bad if he doesn't.
Yeah, then that might be like hey, maybe this guy's not that good.
This guy's just going to be a backup.
I believe in him.
I believe in him too. I believe in him mostly because you believe in him,
right?
But also because I've seen a lot of clips of him because, again, of you.
Right.
The guy's good.
He's a good goalie.
He's a good goalie. Very underrated, but I understand why he's underrated because he's always on a stinkhole of a team.
Yeah, typically.
Of late.
He was good when he was like 20 and Columbus was good, and they had Bob winning the Vezina because they had towards coaching.
Right.
But now it's different.
Yeah. So everyone knows our top 5 now. I think
that's what we got.
You did mention before the top 5 that we were going to mention our 6 and 7, and I'm really curious to see how this goes. We got to do it quickly.
Didn't we say UC?
Yeah. I said UC on 6. I wasn't sure if you agreed.
UC on 6. 7 is hard.
7's very hard. That's when you start getting into, like, is it Swayman? Is it...
Could be Swayman.
Allmark? Ottinger?
Don't know.
Markstrom?
I'd have to think about this one.
Yeah, this one, 7's tough.
Yeah.
7 to 12 is like, again, kind of like a...
Which also shows you how good the top 5 and 6 are.
Yeah. Because we were like, this is the top 5. Actually, we were like, this is the top 6.
Right.
But for 7 to 12, we're like,
we're having a hard time.
That's
I got to chew on this one a bit.
Okay. Let's chew on it. Maybe we address it later.
Yes.
All right. I think that's good.
That's what we got for today.
Yeah.
Shorter. A lot going on.
Did we mention why we have a shorter episode? Did we tell the people about our mishap? Were we going to?
Oh, I don't know. Well,
we could.
We could.
Yeah, we actually filmed a podcast yesterday, and if you listen to episode 11, you would recognize we had some audio issues,
which we apologize for.
Yes, those actually sneaked into our podcast yesterday as well.
Continued into yesterday.
Yeah,
we figured out the problem and we fixed it, so now we're back.
Yeah, thanks to Stewie's buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Never met you, bud, but thank you very much.
Professional
for helping
sound
us out.
guy.
Yeah. That guy knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's doing.
So anyways, that's why we had a bit of a shorter episode today.
We're still at 50 minutes. Longer than our last one, I think.
Oh, dang. We've been talking for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So shut me up.
Yeah.
You're welcome for the normal episode.
Yeah, basically a normal episode.
All right, that's all I got, man.
That's all we got. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week as usual.
Thank you again to everyone who helped us with our camp.
Yep.
Anything for the people to look out for?
We still have the comments that we have looked at, like protein intake during the season. We will get to that next week. Unless we're on site in Jacksonville. Then we might be talking about camp again.
Probably.
So we'll see.
We'll see. That's it.
Thank you, everybody. That's all we got.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good week.